Hello everyone, today we will see a numerical on distillation of fatty acid. Instead of assuming a multi-component mixture, we are just assuming a binary type of mixture. Means there are only two components and directly instead of directly moving on the numerical, I will link up this numerical with our theoretical concept. So first of all, we are considering coconut oil. What we are considering? Coconut oil. And this coconut oil is sent for fat splitting, or simply we can say that hydrolysis reaction. So this coconut oil we are considering triglyceride plus water for hydrolysis reaction, or fat splitting reaction we need water. So this gives us fat splitting, gives us mixture of fatty acid plus byproduct glycerol plus water, that is sweet water. So this is a mixture. This is what a mixture of fatty acid we are obtaining this by this specific fat splitting of coconut oil, and then this fatty acid mixture as a top product, and this fatty acid mixture is sent for distillation operation. Let's assume that coconut oil contains various types of fatty acids, just like a dominant fatty acid, that is lauric acid, then myristic acid, palmitic acid, oleic acid, and n number of fatty acids are present there. But when this fatty acid mixture is sent for distillation, we are again getting two products, that is a top product and bottom product. Let's assume that a myristic acid and palmitic acid is obtaining as a bottom product of first distillation column, and these two fatty acids, specifically myristic acid and palmitic acid, is sent again for distillation operation. Okay, and our complete numerical is related to the separation of these two fatty acids, that is myristic acid and palmitic acid. Okay. Now we will move on numerical. This is just an introduction type, or just a relation between our theoretical reactions or theoretical concept and what actually we are going to see in our numerical. So that's why this is necessary. So instead of writing complete question on the board, I just read the numerical and write the given values. So a mixture containing myristic and palmitic acid with 40% myristic acid and 60% palmitic acid. Okay. So first of all, this is a binary mixture. What it contains, we are writing now given values. So it is a mixture of myristic acid plus palmitic acid. Instead of writing a complete word myristic acid and palmitic acid, I use this abbreviation capital MA and capital PA. It is a mixture of 40% myristic acid plus 60% of palmitic acid. Second thing, this mixture is to be separated in a fractionating column to give a product containing 96% myristic acid. Product, when we talk about our distillation column, this is our simple distillation column, a rough figure. This is our feed, that is XF. We are getting one top product, that is XD, and bottom product XW. So top product we are getting XD equals to 96% of myristic acid. 96% of myristic acid. Third thing, top product 96% of myristic acid and a bottom product containing 95% of palmitic acid. Bottom product denoted by XW or abbreviated by XW containing 95% of palmitic acid. Okay. Next thing, feed is a mixture of 2/3 vapor and 1/3 liquid. Okay. Feed denoted by capital F is a mixture of vapor plus liquid. How much? 2/3 of vapor plus 1/3 of liquid is the mixture of feed. Okay. Next thing, we need to find out the number of theoretical stages required if the reflux ratio is 1.5 times the minimum reflux ratio. Okay. Actual operating reflux ratio denoted by capital R is 1.5 times minimum reflux ratio denoted by Rm. Okay. Now this is all about the given conditions, and again a various data of vapor pressure and boiling point is given. That is vapor pressure, first thing of myrastic acid, second thing palmitic acid, and this vapor pressure is, value of vapor pressure is given at standard 25 degrees Celsius. So vapor pressure of myrastic acid is 1.40 10 to the power minus 6, and vapor pressure of palmitic acid, that is given 3.8 10 to the power minus 7. Both are in mmHg, height of mercury or mm of mercury. Then next thing which is given, boiling point of these two acids denoted by capital BP, boiling point again standard at 1 atmosphere. First thing, boiling point of myrastic acid and boiling point of palmitic acid. So boiling point of myrastic acid is 326 degrees Celsius, 326.2 degrees Celsius, and palmitic acid 351 degrees Celsius. Okay. So more volatile component is myrastic acid due to less boiling point, and less volatile component is our palmitic acid with boiling point of 351 degrees Celsius. Again the formula is given, I can write here, which is given next. To calculate the molecular weight, we need the basic formula. For myrastic acid, it is C14H28O2, and for palmitic acid, it is C16H32O2. Okay, this is also important. So these all are the values which are given in our numerical, and what actually we need to find. What actually we need to find, you can write here. To find number of theoretical stages, I can write it number of plates denoted by small n. Okay, means to separate this binary fatty acid mixture in a distillation column, how many number of plates we are needed to separate it with a purity of top product 96% and bottom product 95%. Okay. Okay, this is all about the given things and to find. So first of all, before moving towards the solution of this numerical, we just gather a basic data. It includes mainly relative volatility denoted by capital RV. Relative volatility. What means by relative volatility? Most of the times the value of relative volatility is given in your numerical, but distillation of fatty acid means specifically a separation by distillation of our fats or distillation related to the oil technology is quite rare. So that's why relative volatility value is not available, and we will find it by using the vapor pressure data. So relative volatility is the ratio of vapor pressure of more volatile component to vapor pressure of less volatile component. Okay, this is called as relative volatility. If the value of relative volatility is 1, then there is no separation. More the value of relative volatility, we can easily separate out this mixture. Okay, so what is the value of our vapor pressure of more volatile component? It is means our more volatile component is myrastic acid. So it is 1.40 10 to the power minus 6, and the vapor pressure of less volatile component, that is vapor pressure of palmitic acid, is 3.8 10 to the power minus 7. And what exactly we are getting? We are getting something 3 point something like 3.68. 3.68. So whatever we can find step by step, I can write all the values here. So it will be completely helpful for us when we move on the graphical part of our numerical. So first we get relative volatility, that is 3.68. Second, now after relative volatility, we can actually move on our solution part of this numerical. So we are considering a feed of 100 kg, and our feed is mixture of myristic acid plus palmitic acid. It is a mixture of myristic acid plus palmitic acid, that is 40% of myristic acid and 60% of palmitic acid. So our feed equals to 40 kg of myristic acid plus 60 kg of palmitic acid. Okay, this is all about our feed. Now before that, we need to calculate the molecular weight to finding the mole fractions of our specific fatty acids present in our feed and present in our top product, that is distillate, and present in our bottom product, that is XW, denoted by XW. So first thing, molecular weight, by using our basic formula, molecular weight of myristic acid and molecular weight of palmitic acid. I think it is C12H24O2 and C14H32O2. These are the basic formula. I just cross check it. C14H28O2, C16H32O2. Okay. So 12 into 12 plus 1 into 24 plus 16 into 2, and it gives us 228, I think. Then 12 into 14 plus 1 into 32 plus 16 into 2, it gives us 256. Yeah. So molecular weight of myristic acid, 228, molecular weight of palmitic acid 256. These both calculated, these both value of molecular weight are useful to find out the mole fractions. Okay. Now we will calculating the things on more volatile component basis. Means there is one assumption, that is we are calculating all the things on more volatile component basis. Okay, so our feed is a mixture of myristic acid and palmitic acid, that is 40 kg plus 60 kg. So first thing we are calculating, that is mole fraction of myristic acid in our feed, denoted by XF. So how we can calculate XF? So XF equals to how much amount of kg present in our feed. We are calculating all the things on the more volatile component basis, and our more volatile component is myristic acid. So it is 40 and weight of myristic acid is 228. So 40 by 228 plus 40 by 228 upon 60 by 256. How we can find it? A more volatile component, weight of more volatile component upon its molecular weight, that is mole. Then same weight of weight upon molecular weight plus weight by molecular weight. This is of more volatile component and this is of less volatile component. Means this is, we are talking about a complete mixture upon more volatile component. So XF, I think it gives us 0.43. We are getting the value of XF as a 0.43. This is another one, 0.43 XF. Second thing, we are calculating same mole fraction of malic acid in distillate. So I can write all the things in distillate. So mole fraction of malic acid in distillate denoted by XD. How we can calculate it? XD equals to what actually happened in top product? We are getting 96% of malic acid. Composition of our top product, 96% of malic acid. So 4% of palmitic acid. So it is 100%. Okay. So that's why 96 upon 40. 96 upon 96 upon 228 upon 96 by 228 plus 4 by 256. Okay. So what actually we are getting? We are getting 0.964. This is the another value of XD. Now just one value is remaining. Again same, the mole fraction of malic acid in bottom product, that is BP, denoted by XW. Okay. So what is the composition of bottom product we are getting? We are getting 95% of palmitic acid and 5%, this is 95% of palmitic acid and 5% of malic acid. So we are focusing on this 5% of malic acid. Why? Because we assume all the things on more volatile component basis. So this should be assumed. Okay. It is denoted by XW equals to more volatile component 5% of malic acid, 5 by 228 upon 5 by 228 plus 95 by 256. Okay. So we are getting XW as approx 0.056. 0.056. So this is our third one. So these are the most important values to start our graphical procedure. Fourth thing we are getting XF, that is 0.43. Then XD 0.964. Then XW 0.056. Let's move on the next part of our numerical. Now, next part of our numerical is generating XY data. This XY data is useful to draw an equilibrium curve in our graph. So, XY data is calculated by simple formula y equals to alpha x upon 1 plus alpha minus 1 into x. By this simple formula we can easily calculate the values of x and y. So what is alpha? Alpha is our relative volatility, that is 3.68. Okay, then we are assuming the value of x initially. We are assuming the value of x from 0 to 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 up to 1.0. And similarly we are getting the value of y. When you put the value of alpha and x in this formula, then we are getting the value of y initially for 0, then from 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 various values, and finally again it is ended with 1.0. Starts with 0 and ended with 1.0. Okay. So already we just calculate this xy data to draw our equilibrium curve, and the values are like 0.29, 0.48, then 0.611, 0.71. So I will tell all these values when actually we will draw the graph, because I need to draw the graph in same portion of this board, so it's difficult for me to write all the values and side by side draw the graph also. So by this, using this formula, we can easily generate x, y data. Y equals to alpha x upon 1 plus alpha minus 1 into x. Okay. Now we will move on. Determination of minimum reflex ratio. Okay. We are finding minimum reflex ratio that is denoted by capital Rm. Before that, again we want to find some values related to feed. So moving on, feed is a mixture of vapor plus liquid. Okay, how much vapor? 2/3 part is vapor and 1/3 part is liquid. When we calculate it, we get value 1 plus 1.0. Okay, so this is our feed, actual complete feed. We get a 2/3 vapor in our feed and 1/3 liquid, 1/3 part of liquid in feed. Okay, so the part of liquid which is present in feed is denoted by small q. Okay, what actually small q stands for? Liquid part in feed is denoted by small q. So how can we find out the value of q? Q is directly by using this value, that is 1.1/3. We are getting the value of 0.333. Okay, sorry, there is a slight correction. We are getting the value of 0.333. I write it 0.0333. Okay. So we can easily say that 1 mole of feed gives us 2/3 mole of vapor and 1/3 mole of liquid in rectifying section and in stripping section. Means once you supply the feed in your distillation column, then 2/3 mole of vapor is getting in rectification section, that is top of your column, and 1/3 mole of liquid is obtaining in your stripping section, that is bottom part of your column. So how you can differ the stripping and rectification section of your column? That is, this is your feed, this is your top product distillate, this is your bottom product W. So the portion which is above your feed line is your rectification section, and the portion which is below your feed line is your stripping section. So it's more easier to differentiate the part of your column in rectification and stripping. Okay. Next we will find, this is our Q, we find initially Q. Next we will find slope of feed line. Slope of feed line is calculated by, these all are standard formulas. Minus q upon 1 minus q, that is minus 0.333 upon 1 minus 0.333, and we are getting slope of feed line as minus 0.5. It is calculated, it is again continued to find out the angle. Slope equals to tan theta, and the value of slope is minus 0.5. So we are getting theta equals to 26.56 degree. Means the slope of your feed line is at the angle of 26.56 degree. Now next, the most important thing we are finding, that is intercept on y-axis. It is the most important thing. Intercept on y-axis. How can we find it? Again by a small formula, xf upon 1 minus q. Okay, so instead of just remembering these all small formula to calculate the values, we just try to understand it. We are initially finding intercept or on, sorry, this is not off, this is on, intercept on y-axis for what? For feed line. To draw any single line, you need at least 2 points. I think this is the 2 points. Then only you get able to draw these 2 lines, this single line. If you are having only 1 point, then it's difficult to draw or start and end the line. So that's why you need intercept on y-axis. Y means you are going towards vapor. Okay, vapor of your feed or vapor of your column, and we are assuming we are finding the values for feed line. That's why we are considering XF. XF is what? Mole fraction of your feed upon 1 minus Q. 1 minus Q means actually it gives us a value of vapor. So that's why we calculate it by XF upon 1 minus Q. XF is 0.43. We already have the value 0.43 upon 1 minus Q. Q is 0.333. Okay, and actually we are getting intercept denoted by capital I 0.644. Value of intercept is 0.644. Okay. Here I want to add something. Okay. So Q is the part of feed which is liquid, directly calculated or directly given in our numerator, that is 1 by 3. Again you are able to find it. Okay, I can write here. Again you are able to find it Q, because your feed equals to vapor plus liquid. Your feed is 1 and your and this liquid is denoted by Q. So Q equals to feed minus vapor, 1 minus 2 by 3. You are getting again the same value of 0.333. Okay. So what are the values we are having with us? That is Q 0.333, first thing. Slope of line minus 0.5, theta 26.56, and the most important factor, intercept. Intercept of our feed line on y-axis 0.644. Okay. So we are having with us now Q 0.333, slope, actually I write directly the angle 26.56. Okay. Next thing, intercept of feed, I just denote it with capital I XF. Intercept of your feed line on y-axis 0.644. So these are the 9 values we have with us. Okay. Let's move on the next part of our numerical. I already calculated all the theoretical values by using formula and molecular weight and what we can say, a mixture of feed, then a percentage of fatty acid, then the composition of top product and bottom product. All the values are already found out. Now we will move on the graphical part of our numerical. And from that graphical part, again we are able to find out 2 or 3 different values. Okay. It's really difficult for me to find out, as it is number of plates on this whiteboard, what actually you are getting on your graph page. I will try my best. So this is our initial point 0 0. This is our final point on y axis 1.0. This is a diagonal interaction 1.0 again, or diagonal intercept, and this is our last point 1.0 on x axis. Okay. So this is a very basic step or very initial step, and you just need to draw one diagonal joint 0.000. We can say that 1.0 and 1.0. After that, you need to use your xy data. You need to use your xy data. Okay. Now I can write the xy data to plot our points of equilibrium curve. Before that, we just use the scale. Scale on the graph is one box equals to 0.1 on both the axes. Both axes. One box equals to 0.1, right? Okay. So 1, 2.3, 4, 0.5, 6, 7, 8, and 0.9. So this is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0.9, and 1.0. So this is all about your y-axis. Similarly, you need to plot on x-axis. 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1.0. Okay. Now, by using xy data, we can easily plot the points, and with the help of these points, we can draw our equilibrium curve of our distribution column. Okay. So, what is our xy data? Okay. For 0 0, for x0, y equals to 0 initially, and finally for 1, it is 1.0 and 1.0. In between that, we just calculate the xy data by using the same formula, y equals to alpha x upon 1 plus alpha minus 1 into x, and we are getting the value like when x equals to 0.1, y equals to 0.29. Instead of getting confused, I just write all the values, assumed values or considered values of x, that is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and here 1.0. Okay. So for 0.1, y equals to 0.29, 0.2, y equals to 0.48, 0.3, 0.611, for 0.4 it's 0.71, for 0.5 it's 0.786, then 0.6 it's 0.846, for 0.7 it's 0.895, 0.8 it's 0.936, and 0.9 it's 0.970, and again for 1 it's 1. Okay. This is our basic xy data, and by using this xy data we can draw our equilibrium curve. So for 0.1, when x equals to 0.1, y equals to 0.29. Okay, 0.29 means approximately nearer to 0.3. This is our first point. For 0.2, it is 0.48. 0.48 means near to 0.5. this is our second point. For point 3 is 0.611, means 0.6 and just slight above 0.61. So somewhat here we get the third point. For point 4 it is 0.71. For point 4 on x, 0.71 means 0.7. Now for point 5 it's 0.786. 0.786 means 0.79, very nearer to 0.8. Okay. Then for point 6, 0.846 means 0.85. In between 0.8 and 0.9, 0.6. In between 0.8 and 0.9. Okay. Then 0.7, 0.895 means very closer to 0.9. So 0.8 closer to 0.9. Somewhat here. Sorry. It's like somewhat here. And for 0.9 it's 0.970. 0.9 it's 0.970 means very close to 1.0. Somewhat like this point. Okay. So we can draw one curve by using these all points. It's difficult for me to draw a clear curve or a proper curve, but in your graph, by using a graph paper, it will be more easier for everyone to draw proper curve. So this is our first point. This is our second point. Third and fourth. 5 and 6. Okay. So this is our equilibrium curve of our distribution column. This is what? This is our equilibrium curve, denoted by capital EC. Now we are plotting the point XD and XW. So before that XF is 0.43. So 0.43 XF means we are talking about x-axis, XF 0.43. 0.43 means somewhat here. Here is our XF point, and we just draw one vertical line, straight vertical line towards our operating line. So this is our XF 0.43, and intercept of our XF, that is capital I XF, is 0.644. So intercept on y axis. So this is our y axis, and 0.644 means it's quite nearer to 0.65. So 0.644, I guess somewhat here it is intercept. So this is our intercept point, and we just join these two lines, these 2 points. Sorry. Okay. So here so this is our feed line, capital FL, denoted by capital FL. This is what? This is your point Q. This is XF, value of 0.43. Now after XF we will move on XD. XD 0.964 means 0.964, very closer to 1.0. 0.964. This is 0.95, in between that 0.964 and a vertical 0.964. So intercept we are getting somewhat like this. XD 0.964, 0.964. Okay. XF is plotted, XD is plotted. Now we will move on XW. Okay, XW is 0.056. XW is our bottom product. So 0.056 means somewhat in between that 0.1. This is 0.05. This is 0.05. So somewhat here like that. This is our point of XW. This is our point XW. Value of XW is 0.056. 0.056. Okay. So 3 points are plotted. Now we are getting another point automatically in our equilibrium curve, that is the point where feed line can intersect our equilibrium curve. This is our feed line. This is our feed line. Okay, it's difficult for me to draw inside. So this is our feed line denoted by capital FL, and this is our actual intercept point of feed line at equilibrium curve. Okay, so this is our one extra point we are getting, which is important for us, denoted by capital P. It is the point where feed line can intersect your equilibrium curve. Feed line can intersect your equilibrium curve is denoted by point P. And here you are getting two different values when you draw a straight horizontal line towards y-axis. This is your straight horizontal line towards y-axis, and a straight vertical line towards x-axis. I am not able to draw in between that because the actual number of plates is calculated by using this portion of your graph. So that's why I directly draw it from outside of this curve portion. So somewhat I get this type of value, and this actually gives us a value of y dash and a value of x dash. So value of y dash I am getting 0.53, and value of x dash is 0.24. Okay. When I solve this numerical in my graph copy, so what I get, y dash equals to 0.53 and x dash equals to 0.24. Okay. Now more two values are added, that is y dash and x dash. Y dash is 0.53 and x dash is 0.24. Now we don't need this xy data. Your equilibrium curve is already drawn. Okay. Now by using these values of x dash and y dash, we are able to calculate our minimum reflux ratio. And how it is calculated? Minimum reflux ratio, Rm, is denoted by minimum reflux ratio is denoted by capital Rm, and it is calculated by simple formula, that is xd upon y dash, capital XD upon y dash minus x dash. So xd is already there, 0.964, minus y dash, just we get it, 0.53 upon 0.53 minus 0.24, and how much we are getting the value of Rm? This is not your minimum reflux ratio. This is just a reflux ratio. No, this is minimum reflux ratio. Really sorry about it. This is the minimum reflux ratio. Rm xd minus y dash upon y dash minus x dash 0.964. Yes, 0.5353, 0.24. Right. How much we are getting? We are getting approx. We are getting 1.496, means we are getting approx 1.5. And now we will calculate our operating reflux ratio. That is capital R equals to, according to our condition of your numerical, your operating reflux ratio is 1.5 times your minimum reflux ratio, that is Rm. Okay, so 1.5 into, we can consider this 1.496 equals to 1.5, and we are getting 2.25 as your operating reflux ratio. So in this way we are calculated our operating reflux ratio by using the value of y dash and x dash, which is obtaining from our graph. Okay, so what we are getting now, operating reflux ratio is 2.25. okay, one more value we get, and the last value we need to calculate. That I already told that when you want to draw a single line, at least you need 2 points. Now already feed line is drawn, but till the line, operating line of sweeping section, that is from started from xw, and operating line of rectification section, that is started from xd, we just have only 1 point. So we need to find out another intercept, like just like the feed line, the intercept of your feed line on y-axis, we need to find another intercept same on y-axis regarding to your rectification section or rectification operating line. So it is denoted by capital I xd. Okay, now how we can calculate it? It is calculated as capital I equals to xd upon r plus 1. So by using this formula, when we use this formula, we can use this formula when you want to find out the intercept of your rectification section, and it's totally depend on your condition of feed, and our feed is 2/3 vapor and 1/3 liquid. So xd upon r plus 1, xd is again given, again calculated, already calculated 0.964, and r plus 1, r is just calculated 2.25 plus 1, and what actually we are getting the value of intercept, it's 0.296, we can directly write it 0.3. So again another intercept is calculated, that is 0.3. Okay, now I think all the values are find it, and we just focus on our graph now. Okay, so when you want to draw operating line of your rectification section, 1 point is already there, that is xd 964 from both x and y axis. Now intercept on y axis is 0.3, so 0.3, so this is 0.3. So this is your another intercept. You just need to draw the line and join these points, these 2 points. Yes. So this line shows us, or this line is become an operating line of, I can directly use a capital letters, operating line of rectification section. Okay. Operating line of rectification section. This will become operating line of rectification section, and this intersection point of feed line and rectification section, we are getting another point, and this point will become the second point for our sweeping section. We already have only 1 point, xw, and this point will become our second point to draw our operating line of our sweeping section. Similarly, when we find out the intersection for rectification section. So just need to join these 2 points. Okay. So this is your actual point where this is actual point which shows the point of feed line, and where above that point it will become a rectification section, and below that point it will become a stripping section. Okay. So I think each and everything is calculated. Just to show this, this is your stripping section, operating line of stripping section, and yeah, everything is calculated and find it. Let's draw the number of stages now. It is very easy. Always we are started from a rectification section. So how we can draw a number of plates now? Okay, how we can draw the plates? Started from point XD, you just need to draw a straight horizontal line towards equilibrium curve and drop down its a perpendicular vertical line on this operating line. Again you need to draw a horizontal line from the last point to equilibrium curve. Again you need to drop down a straight vertical line on your operating line of your rectification section. In this way we can go one by one and find out the plates now. Okay. So this is our first part. The point we just getting on your equilibrium curve, we just draw a straight vertical line, and again okay, this is point, this is plate 2, and then a third. Okay. Now what actually happened, most of the students are get confused on this typical part of this numerical, till where you need to draw this vertical line now, because from that point your rectification section will become end and your stripping section will start. So you just initially need to draw one horizontal line till equilibrium curve, then you need to drop down this line up to your stripping section, because now your operating line of now your rectification section is ended, where here your rectification section is ended and your stripping section starts. So you need to go below this point. Now similarly you just draw these lines. Okay, now what actually happened here, once you cross the point XW, means your stripping section is ended, and again you are able to draw one plate, but it is not calculated because it's beyond your XW. We just need to calculate the number of plates between your XD and XW point, the top product and bottom product. Now we will calculate the plates. This is your plate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay. According to me, when I solve this numerical on this whiteboard, I find out number of plates n equals to 6. But this will not happen with you, because when you solve it in your graph page by using this scale, one box equals to 0.1 on both axes, you may find out that number of plates needed is like 8 or 7, something like that. Okay, it's difficult for me to draw each and everything with a proper scale. That's why I get approx n equals to 6. Now this n contains one more plate, that is a plate of reboiler and a condenser. That's why actual number of plates needed is n minus 1. So 6 minus 1 is 5. For me, it's for me. Okay, you can write it for me. But when you solve it on your graph copy, it will, I think, how much number of plates are needed? Total number of plates needed are 8. This is the actual correct one. Your total number of plates are 8. By considering both condenser plus reboiler plate. Okay, now the actual number of plates equals to n minus 1, 8 minus 1, that is 7. 7 is your final answer. Means when you want to separate the binary mixture of mannastic acid and palmitic acid with a composition of 40-60 and a composition of top product, that is a top product of how much they can say that sorry, top product containing 96% of mannastic acid and bottom product containing 95% of palmitic acid, and the condition of feed, that is 2/3 vapor and 1/3 liquid, you need 7 number of plates, at least 7 number of plates to carry out this type of distillation and getting a purity, getting these products with such type of purity. So I think this is all about your numerical, and in this way we are able to find out the number of plates by using graphical method. And yes, this is very rare numerical, because it's really difficult to find such type of distillation numericals on fatty acids mixture, specifically on fatty acid mixture, or specifically related to our branch, that is oil technology. So I will stop here. Thank you so much.